But what really gets me is the social media stuff, and just the algorithms controlling what you see, and the fact that those algorithms are then controlled by like a handful of people. I feel like that information flow is more of a having someone that have their hand on the throttle of the information feels more dangerous to me.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's terrifying. I think, especially because I think we can be gamed so easily. I don't think we're as smart as we think we are. And once, I don't know how easily brainwashable I am. And I like to think I'm not that brainwashable, but I am totally brainwashable.
We all do. We all like to think.
I know. And especially
if
if you have like an AI or something that's playing a long game on the how you think and how you formulate your ideas about the world or your opinions about things. If you have, just the subtle conditioning that these things would potentially be able to do, that's kind of a freaky thing to think about, especially because the people that are in control of these things are not elected by anyone. They're just so far they seem to be just a bunch of bro douchebags. And so it's kind of alarming.
But behind like the concentration of all this, like, going back to, Meta and the TikTok ban, right? So TikTok is now being hosted in a Meta server.
So the data's all in their servers.
Yeah, the data. So like they sold like the data center. They haven't sold the algorithm, right? And
right, the algorithm's the big piece that China doesn't want out. Yeah.
Or it's not even a fully Chinese company, right? Like it's owned 60% by international investment.
Right, but I heard that the algorithm was what they're like.
That's the hot.
If they were going to get sold to if the U.S. made them sell to another U.S. company, the algorithm wouldn't go with it.
Yes.
It would just be the brand and stuff.
But senators and politicians on both sides of the aisle all bought Meta stock before the ban. Right? Not so much they thought, because I feel like they knew that there was going to be this like short ban, and then the deal was they're going to move the server or the data storage into Meta, and that's going to bump up their stock.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not even. So it's like, it's not just corporations. Like it is the government. Not to be a conspiracy theorist, right? But
did you see that?
There's like, to think the government anything's going to regulate it, I think is foolish.
Yeah, no. Did you see that? There's that. I think it's an app. It's called like Polititracker or something like that.
Unusual Whales.
No, it basically it tracks senators' investments.
Unusual Whales was not. I didn't think it would be a political app.
Well, the first one was the guy who like the Polititracker came from a guy's like blog called Unusual Whales, where he would just post every like politician's
stock
buys. They're buying or selling, and then now it's set up that you can basically input how much that you're willing to trade or buy or sell, and it'll just automatically do it for you. Basically, if Pelosi sells something or buys something,
Nancy Pelosi
it just
was the greatest
automatically
stock
does it
of all time.
Yeah,
she's up like 200. She's up like I think like 90% this year.
It's perfect. She's amazing.
I'm rubbing my temples because it's so...
Nothing's corrupt
here,
Brad.
This is what I'm saying. When I digest shit like this all fucking day, it like riles me up. And then I just do like a demonic info dump on Anna. And then walk away. I'm like, oh, I feel better.
Mic drop, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, what? Shit, please stop doing this.
I definitely do that to my significant other as well, where it's just like she'll even say something just like, and it just, well,
actually,
that actually, and then and
it all comes
away.
out, yeah.
Ashley does this terrible thing to me when I'm on about something. She sticks her hands up in the air about a meter apart, and she slowly starts bringing her hands together, and that's to let me know that that's the window of time I have to get everything out.
Hold on, and the thing is, what you don't understand actually, and what it's going to do, I think the ramifications long term are going to be like. We're going to say one more thing.
It's a power move. It's a power move.
That's such a good move.
It takes the wind out of your sails. It'll take your wind right out of your
Clever
sails.
girl.
As soon as someone puts the clock on you,
put a shot clock on your bullshit. God damn.
I know, it's a nightmare.
But this is so. I was going to before you said that, Jared. I was going to say well, I think the problem here is a regulation problem. You know, like there's got to be like a regulation problem. But
if the government,
as you say,
if people in the government, lively or like they can make a fuckload of money by like not enforcing any sort of regulation, like it's
the other thing to think about too is like so far we're seeing a lot of things that are just seem like we're getting it wrong. Like things are getting worse. Depression's going up. People are getting addicted to these things because they're getting their dopamine fixes. At some point along the line, some country,
furries. Everyone's becoming a
some
furry.
country or group of
These things
people
are
is
on the
going to come
rise.
up with a better system that, and I don't know exactly what they're going to do or what that's going to look like, but they're going to do something differently. And we can potentially be able to follow the lead. Like I don't think this is going to be
going after the
this isn't going to be a
horse
descent
shit
forever
epidemic
all the way
of like London or what?
down the toilet. I don't know where this is going, and it's good. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But at some point along the line, I'm hopeful that we're going to see some positive changes or new ways to interact or
I think we're going to need one
pivots.
big solar storm to wipe out all the power grids, and then
Hey man,
everyone
maybe
can not be on their phones.
maybe that'll happen too. Like Ashley and I, when we go camping, it's amazing. Well, when our phones are just no service, you do notice the difference pretty quickly, especially if you're out there for a few days. 3 days.
You get a longer shot clock or no?
Oh yeah, well, she's bored. She's bored. She can't just look at her phone, so she'll listen
she
to
has
me.
to listen to it.
I'll pace
no
back and
content.
forth. I'll pace back and forth by that fire, and she's just looking at me in awe, captivated by the depth of my knowledge on all.
Captive audience.
Yeah.
I bring out a bunch of cue
Bring
cards
your
when we go
family to the
camping,
woods.
and
That's
I
right.
emulate TikTok posts. I draw things, and then I go from one to the other, and it's an analog TikTok that I've developed.